And happy Thursday, everyone. My name is meteorologist Heather Kane. It's time for our daily hail forecast, sponsored as always by See-Through Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractors Show, as well as Atlas Roofing. Thank you guys for sponsoring our videos. So we do have some more chances of hail today. One area is the northeast, where we've had a chance for the last few days, and another area is in the Rockies up into the northern plains. We'll talk about all of that in just a few moments. And today is the first day of summer, so happy summer. It will officially be the official start at 3:50 Central Time this afternoon, and we're continuing to be very hot across parts of the country. So I guess today we can officially call it, summer, because it's been hot. So so we'll talk about the areas that will continue to see those warm temperatures and what will be going on over the next few days with that. And then we'll check in with the tropics, see what's going on with Alberta, as well as if there are any other areas to watch for the potential of tropical development. So here are our current conditions across the lower 48. We do have a warm front basically stretched right in the middle of the country from parts of Illinois all the way into Nebraska up into southern Wyoming. So this will be one area that we'll be watching for the potential of severe weather as this warm front tracks northward. And then we have a stalled out front here in the northeast that will potentially spark off some storms this afternoon and evening. We actually have a few trying to fire off right now. So let's zoom into a few areas here, just a little bit, not zooming in just a bit, not too much. So we do have some rain going on in parts of South Dakota, getting into Minnesota, northern Iowa, and then some scattered showers here in parts of Wyoming and Montana, even down into Colorado. So as we get that heating of the day this afternoon, that warm front continues to stretch up to the north. We could get some severe weather firing off here in parts of the Rockies up into the northern plains. And then we are continuing to track some moisture from the remnants of Alberto. He's just a tropical depression now in Mexico, but moisture still coming in from the Gulf and continuing to drop rain there in southern Texas. And then lastly, again, a chance here for some more storm development in the northeast. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch out until 8 p.m. Eastern time for some hail up to an inch in diameter and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So we do have a severe thunderstorm warning out already here in the northeast. So zooming on out, taking a look at our temperatures. Once again, it's going to be another hot one across the eastern half of the country as that heat dome continues to sit around here. It's already 91 in Fort Wayne, 88 in Charleston. A little bit cooler here in Kansas City, where it's 84, and some more 80s here across parts of the south, and then stretching up into the northeast. Cooling down, though, once you get behind that system, where it's only 66 in Minneapolis and 65 out in Billings. And then with our dew points, you can even see those darker greens down there, and that's because that atmosphere is extremely saturated because of those showers and storms, but still very sticky with dew points here in the 60s and 70s. 70-degree dew point in Wichita, 72 in Dallas, 74 in New Orleans. So it's a little bit uncomfortable if you walk outside, but more comfortable if you head further north, where we only have a 53-degree dew point in Minneapolis. So once again, those heat advisories are in effect here in the northeast, and we even have some more heat advisories in parts of California and some heat warnings in Arizona. But we're going to zoom right into the northeast because that's just been going on for the last few days, and it's going to continue to do so over the next a few days and into the beginning of our weekend. So again, make sure that you drink plenty of water if you do have to go outside today, tomorrow, and into the weekend, although temperatures should start to at least improve a little bit as we end our weekend. We'll get into that a little bit later. And then some more flood-related advisories and warnings out here for parts of the south. So here's our future radar. There are a few of them here. So this one is for the Rockies and the Northern Plains. So as we get into this afternoon, we're going to stop it at 1 p.m. Central. So within, the next, 45 minutes or so, we could start to see some storms trying to pop up to the west of Denver. Then as we continue through this afternoon, some more widespread development is possible here in Colorado, getting up into parts of southern Wyoming. So Denver, Pueblo, Colorado Springs, as well as Cheyenne. Make sure if you guys are in those areas to stay tuned to hail trace for any severe hail that may be happening with those. And then as we continue through the rest of this evening, some more storms may try to fire up here in parts of Nebraska. We need to keep an eye on as far north as Rapid City to see if any storms may fire up there. And then we will start to see some more linear segments, so more of a wind threat as we continue through late this evening and then getting into the overnight hours. You can see some heavy rain here, basically getting into South Dakota and then entering Minnesota as we get into late tonight and early tomorrow morning. And then we're going to shift a little bit further west into parts of central Montana where we could see a storm or two fire up. It's going to be extremely isolated, but if a storm can develop this afternoon, you can see this model tries to pop up one little storm here just to the east of Great Falls. They could produce some spotty severe hail here and there. So again, very isolated in nature, but the storms that do fire up could produce some large hail. So that is another area that we'll be watching as we get into it later on this afternoon. And then the third area, just like the last few days, we have that stalled out front. So storms are possible along and ahead of it. We already have some storms popping up right now. And as we continue through the rest of this afternoon, this is at 4 p.m. Eastern, more storms here in the northeast all the way into the Great Lakes region, including my home state of Michigan. So I know there's some storms yesterday, and we could see some more today that could reach severe limits. And then as we continue through the rest of this evening, they will continue to push off to the east as they develop. And then as we lose that heating of the day in terms of severity, we should just have a few showers here and there. And we should be, a lot better for the most part through tomorrow morning. We could see a few new storms trying to fire up as we begin our work commute tomorrow morning here in parts of New York. So here is our hail forecast for today. So there are a few areas that we're going to be watching. The first one is here in parts of the Rockies, getting up into parts of the Northern Plains. So Pueblo, Denver, we do have you just at a low end chance right now, but there were quite a number of storms on that radar model, so we will keep an eye on any of those that do pop up. Cheyenne, I think you have a better chance to see those storms today, maybe up to golf ball size in diameter, and then a low end chance for a $250 size hail in Rapid City. And then again, a very spotty chance here to see some $250 size hail, with the largest city here being at Great Falls, Montana. And then heading out into the northeast, we have a chance to see $250 size hail anywhere from Detroit to Pittsburgh, Rochester, New York, Albany, New York, all the way up to Portland, Maine. And then for our wind, so there are two areas that we're going to be watching. Once again, the Rockies up into parts of the Northern Plains. 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts are possible. The best chance is here in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Low end chance for Pueblo and Denver. Rapid City, all the way into Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and then basically the same areas here in the northeast, so Detroit, Pittsburgh, and then Rochester and Albany in New York, and then into Portland, Maine. So it's been hot, especially here in the east where we have that heat dome that's just sitting there. So there's warm temperatures aloft, and this temperatures at the surface just, they can't really go anywhere. So that heat's just trapped in our atmosphere here in the east. And that's just going to continue to be around for the next few days. So it's going to be hot and uncomfortable, and we're going to heat up even more here in the south, potentially getting up into the low hundreds as we get into the end of our weekend. And you can see these little systems here finally trying to track off from Canada and give us potentially some storm chances as we get into our weekend. So we'll keep an eye on those and give you some updates as we get closer to Saturday. And then getting into Sunday, that trough stretches into the northeast, and then getting into Monday, that continues to move off to the east as well. So we can maybe hopefully see at least a little bit of relief in some spots as we begin our work week next week. So here are temperatures. This is just one model of what we're thinking the temperatures will be over the next few days. We're once again just going to continue to heat up here, plenty of 90s and nearing 100 in some spots, and just heating up even more here as we get into our Saturday. Those pinks are basically some 100-degree values, so we're going to be nearing that in Oklahoma City on Saturday, already doing so in parts of Arizona and into California. And then once we get into our Sunday, more heat here, you guys. So Oklahoma City, we will potentially be getting over 100 degrees here, and some more hundreds all the way up into the northeast, including Philadelphia. But you can see a little bit of relief trying to come in here on our Sunday afternoon and cooling down a bit more as we get into our Monday. So if you don't like the heat, some relief will be on the way as we get into Sunday and Monday. But unfortunately here in the south, that heat's going to continue to stick around. And we won't be getting that relief like parts of the north will. So let's check into the tropics. Alberto, again, is now a tropical depression, and it is going to continue to push off to the west as he travels through Mexico, and it should be downgraded to just a wave. We will see what happens though if he re-strengthens out into the Pacific. But then as we get into parts of this is the Atlantic, so that disturbance that we've been keeping an eye on actually has a better chance of developing over the next few days. So a 40% chance over the next week. And then we also have another disturbance out in the Gulf of Mexico that could develop over the next few days. So a lot to keep an eye on. So if either of these does become named, the next name on the list is Beryl, followed by Chris. And then you can see all the names here. And this is, again, just for the Atlantic. The Pacific has a separate set of names. So that's all I have for you for now. Make sure you follow us on Twitter, X, whatever the heck you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, our YouTube page, as well as our TikTok page. Make sure you hit see first on our Facebook page so you don't miss any of our live videos. If you would like to get set up with a demo, you can scan the QR code above in the upper part of your screen, and that will help you learn more about us and our products and if we would be a good fit for you. And then, as always, if you have any questions or concerns, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com and check out our website at www.hailtrace.com. And I am meteorologist Heather Kay. I hope you all have a great rest of your Thursday.